If you're working as a health, fitness, or a wellness professional, it's really likely that you're going to run into some clients that might be dealing with a bacterial overgrowth in the stomach or some type of bad bacteria in the stomach that really does not belong there. And it can create a wide variety of problems for those clients. And if you don't understand the trouble that can create, we'll put a link in the description below for our video on why your clients need stomach acids, and you can dig a little deeper into that. But in this video, we want to help you understand some steps you can help those clients take to reduce that bacterial overgrowth. Let's jump in.
TC Hale is not a doctor and does not claim to be a doctor or licensed in any type of medical field. Don't be an idiot and use anything heard on the show as medical advice. This information should be used for educational purposes only, and you should contact your doctor for any medical advice. Now get off me.
So one important thing to understand about a bacterial overgrowth in the stomach is that the waste from that bacteria has the ability to be alkaline, which can alkalize that stomach even more and restrict the client's ability to break down their food and get all the nutrients out of that food. So with a lot of these clients, you may see them dealing with significant cravings for things like sugars and carbs and junk. And they may be consuming a lot of those sugars and junk just because it's easier to break that down when there's not enough stomach acid to really break down like proteins and really processed fats and real food the right way. So they can sometimes gravitate more towards this junk. And the problem is that a lot of those carbs and sugars can feed that bacteria and help them thrive even more and help them take over the whole town and create a big party in that client's stomach. So when we can take steps to help the clients reduce the amount of junk that they're bringing in, it can speed up the process of getting rid of this bacterial overgrowth in the stomach where it really doesn't belong. But in most cases, with most clients, it's going to take more than just reducing sugar and junk food to be able to really get rid of bacteria in the stomach if it's creating a lot of problems. We're probably going to have to use some supplements. And the degree of what supplements you need to use will vary greatly from client to client. And with some clients, you might need to start off a little bit slow because if that bacterial overgrowth in the stomach is significant, then the die-off from using these supplements could be significant and could create a lot of discomfort for that client. So the most gentle thing that we use is just vitamin C in the form of ascorbic acid. And it's important that that vitamin C be in the form of ascorbic acid. And that's really the most common thing you're going to see at like these regular drugstores and stuff like that, a pharmacy or some kind of grocery store. When they're selling vitamin C, it's usually in the form of ascorbic acid. So it's very easy to find. And basically this can help acidify that stomach a little bit and make it less of a hospitable environment for those bacteria. So they don't like it when there's more acid in there. So vitamin C is a nice gentle way to increase the acid level just a little bit. So for some clients, that's a nice place to start off. The next supplement that we see as very effective at wiping out bacteria in the stomach is called D-limonene. And this is basically just orange peel extract. So it's a natural supplement, but it can be pretty aggressive and it can really seep down into that mucus layer in the stomach where the bacteria likes to hide, and they can wipe them out there. So it can do a great job, but because it can be a little bit aggressive, we like to see people just use it every other morning. We don't like to see clients taking it every day because it might be a little too aggressive. And another supplement that can be really beneficial is mastic gum. And mastic gum comes from some kind of weird tree resin or something like that, but it basically works like it almost mummifies the bacteria and kind of carries them out the back door when the client poops like a champion. So it's a great way to carry that bacteria out and can also be effective in the small intestine as well in case somebody's dealing with the small intestinal bacterial overgrowth, where that bacteria in the stomach has gone from the stomach down into the small intestine. So mastic gum seems to be very effective at that, and a client might use that in between meals for 2 or 3 months even and really help to reduce that overload that could be going on. But it's most effective when taken on an empty stomach. And celery juice, when a client can drink a significant amount of celery juice, maybe 12 to 16 ounces or so on an empty stomach, this can also be very effective at wiping out bacteria, but it also supplies the body with some nutrients that it needs for the body to be able to make its own hydrochloric acid. A lot of these clients that are dealing with an overgrowth are not making enough hydrochloric acid to fry these bad guys when they come in on the food that they're eating. So that's how the bacterial overgrowth got set up in the first place. So celery juice can be beneficial in that regard. Which brings us to the main mistake that most people and most health practitioners make when trying to deal with some type of bacterial overgrowth in the stomach is that they never help the client restore that acid function. You need the acid in that stomach to kill off everything that's coming back in. Otherwise, you took all this effort to wipe out the bad guys, but you left the front door open. So the bad guys are going to come right back in and set up camp again. So we like to see clients help acidify that stomach so that they can break the food down well enough to pull all the minerals and nutrients out of that food and supply the body with the resources it needs to start making more of its own hydrochloric acid again. And there's other reasons that a body might not be making hydrochloric acid, but that seems to be the most common. So a lot of clients, maybe they can supplement with a little apple cider vinegar, and that's enough to give a person a little bit of a boost if they just need a little bit of boost. But most clients need to supplement with hydrochloric acid, or HCl, and use actual HCl capsules with their meal to be able to acidify that food so they can break it down and get more nutrients out of that food and start the cycle where their body can start making more of its own hydrochloric acid. But the dose that each client will take can really vary from person to person. So you really want to understand what you're doing with hydrochloric acid. You don't want your clients taking hydrochloric acid willy-nilly. You want them to understand the right steps. So chapter 3 of my book, Health Pro Results, goes over those steps and helps you understand all of that. And the book is available on Amazon, but I'm going to put a link in the description below so you can get the whole thing totally for free, and that'll walk you through those steps. Because there's some important steps like taking the hydrochloric acid in the middle of the meal, and you really want to be able to pass this information on to each client that's going to use hydrochloric acid to make sure they're doing it the right way. And if you're a consumer that just happened upon this video because you like the topic, then we'll also put a link so you can get my book, Kick Your Fat in the Nuts, in the description below this video, and you can get that for free too. Chapter 3 of that book will walk you through the same process, and that book is just more set up for consumers, where the Health Pro Results book is really written for health professionals. But you really want them to shut that door, or there really is no point in wiping out the bad bacteria, because other stuff is just going to come right in. But to understand all the signs and signals that can come when a client is not making enough stomach acid, or they might be dealing with some type of bacterial overgrowth, jump over right now and check out our video on 10 signs your clients have low stomach acid, and that'll give you more insights of things to look for. I can't wait to hear about your results.